a very powerful film, and I guess like we all need probably a minute or a little bit longer to sit with it. I know that it has definitely had a huge impact on me once I've watched it. But I wanted to ask you first, what was the genesis, or why did you decide to go and explore these themes, the theme of alcoholism, codependency, domestic violence?
It's a very difficult question. I think in Poland this is a very big issue, alcohol and violence, and it's really quite hidden. I have many friends. So I'm really surprised, but in last 10 years it was at least few families where there was alcohol and violence, but it was really hidden. Nobody knew, and even our quite close family. And we met this couple and two girls many times, and they seemed like absolutely very happy family. And then a few years later they divorced, and the truth was that there was unbelievable violence there. And so it was this subject was growing for me, and then I wrote the script, and then we produced this movie. In Poland, there is around 2 million women being under violence like that, and also more or less what we've seen on screen. This number is huge. It's not official statistic, but it's like that because it's hidden. You know, they don't like to talk about it. It's really hidden.
Yeah, and this was my next question. Would you say that this is still not a topic that's being discussed, and would you say that it has changed over the years, that there's more conversation around the topic of alcoholism, codependency, domestic violence, and the effects of those on families, on women, on children, of course, as well?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I think this problem in Poland is for years, and it's rather growing. It's not smaller.
And what has been the reaction to your film? Have you had anybody reach out to you to say that it is a story, you know, that they were, you know, they saw themselves in the movie, or has there been any conversations in the newspapers or in the society about it? Has the movie had that impact yet?
Yes. The movie was in Gdansk festival and in Camera Image, and also premiered in Poland 3 weeks ago. And looks like that I had many conversations, and a lot of people are really crying after. But I think if somebody has a problem like that in the family or close, then reaction is like that. If somebody, bless God and happy for this person, has no contact with problems like that, probably the impact is much smaller. But yes, many people really cried, like couldn't talk.
Was it difficult to get Dawid Ogrodnik and Małgorzata Gorol to participate in the movie?
No, it was not difficult. But David, he gained weight, which is of course very difficult because it's very very hard to lose it then. So for 6 months he's really big in this movie. He's normally very thin, but he really liked this idea from the beginning, and same with Małgosia. She really liked it, and it was not difficult to get them into the project, but the shooting itself was sometimes very very difficult and very hard for them.
And this is what I wanted to explore a little bit further with you as the director of the movie. How do you work with actors who are under so much emotional pressure in those scenes? that are so difficult, scenes of violence, scenes of, huge emotional turmoil?
We had a lot of rehearsals, but 2 months before shooting, and we rehearsed everything. But then during the shooting, I don't do rehearsals because I believe that especially those most difficult scenes like rape scene, for me it's not possible to rehearse it in front of the camera. So, and very often the first take was the best, but those are really great actors. This is really it's unbelievable privilege to work with actors like that. But also I decided to work with them. But they really absolutely great actors, extremely talented, and so yes, if actors are great, everything is much easier.
Another feature of the movie is that it's set in Śląsk, in Silesia, and obviously majority of people there speak the Silesian dialect. So Małgorzata speaks it, but Alojzy doesn't. Am I right?
Yes. It's better to call it language.
Yeah.
People there, they very sensitive. Officially, it's not language yet, but if you say there that it's not a language, they don't like it. So Małgosia, she's from there. She's from Silesia, so this is her first language, and it was no problem at all. And because it's so difficult because many scenes were improvised or partly improvised, so I decided not to ask David to learn this language, which is also impossible. So his mom, Dorota Kolak, he speaks normal Polish, and he speaks something in between Polish and Silesian, and there is a huge group of people like that there, that they not from there, they came in 70s, 80s or 90s, and they speak Polish, and they speak mixture of Silesian and Polish, and this is exactly Alois.
And why did you decide to set the movie in Silesia? Because you're not from there, so...
Yes. This movie could be in Warsaw or on the seaside, it doesn't matter. But I was looking for some area to create some organic microcosmos, or how to say, some organic space, something which is some ambient, and Silesia is like that because of the language, because of coal mines, because of architecture. So we were looking for a long time for area where to shoot it. So that's the reason. But this story could be anywhere. It's not Silesian story. Could be everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Also in Dublin.
And Silesia obviously is very important in Poland because of its coal mining industry, and Alojzy works as a miner, and you are able to shoot some of the scenes were actually shot in a coal mine. Am I right? This is not VFX. This is not computer generated.
Yes. This is really difficult to go to the real coal mine is practically impossible, and because it's a real coal mine, and there are real coal miners there, and we were not. The scenes you've seen in the coal mine, this is a normal work. It was not for film. The coal miners were kind enough to let us be with them a little bit. So it's real working day, and they agreed to do it for us, which is a sacrifice because they earn a lot less money, because it's not, they not paid per hour, they paid for how much coal they get per day. So, but it's this is really a miracle that we were there. It's a miracle, but also it's real hell there. It's very hot. I mean, if none of you were there, 1 mile under, you will not believe. This is 40 degrees centigrade, no oxygen, Oh, it's very scary. It's very scary. It's very dangerous and scary. So it was only one day. We were there only one day.
It's just absolutely. It's very difficult to even imagine that you were able to get there and to get all that footage in one day, and also to be able to experience it, because I guess that must have had an effect on David and other actors, that they were able to embody those characters when they had that experience, right? Or was it at the end?
No, it was more or less in the middle. We hardly did it. It was really on the edge.
Mm-hmm. Could I ask a little bit? Could I probe a little bit more about that? Exploration of I guess intergenerational trauma, because Ernesta Dorota Kolak is also an alcoholic, and Aloise is an alcoholic also. Did you want to? Obviously you did, but how important was it for you to explore that intergenerational trauma there?
This is how it works. Father drinks, then the son drinks, and so on. So this is classic. Everybody knows it. And also there is this little scene where with Alois's son, while he's drinking vodka during this birthday party of his mom, and his son is Timon is asking, what is it? So yes, this is the very sad truth, that it's a chain reaction.
So how can we? Do you have you thought about, or did you want to? Because in a way, we saw that last scene. Is there hope?
I think so. Yes, I think we all hope that it will be all right. But we don't know. I don't know. Maybe he will get drunk next week, but maybe not. For me, it's happy end, in my opinion.
Okay, so maybe let's throw it to the audience, to you, and see whether, first of all, you thought it was a happy ending, but perhaps more if you have any questions. So please, if you've got any questions, raise your hands, and there is a person there. I think we'll be able to hear you without a mic.
Okay. Obviously, it was just amazingly moving and very recognisable from an Irish standpoint.
For me, it's better to give the microphone, yes, because English is not my first language. So if
just
you
give
have
us
microphone,
2 seconds,
yes,
I'll just see whether.
Do we have? Okay.
Do you mind? Do you mind? No, because
I'm sure there is. It's short cable.
Yeah.
So please, yes, if you could a little bit louder for me to
yes,
understand.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say first a comment just how moving it was and how recognisable from an Irish standpoint, very topical for us here in Ireland. And I just wanted to ask you how difficult it was for you to incorporate the child actors. I mean, there was your son, but there were 2 others. And did you find some of the scenes? I imagine they must have been very difficult to shoot with the children, and the violence and the sense of menace that there was, and the tension between the characters.
It's an interesting question. Thank you for it. Those are my sons. I have a lot of sons. I have five sons and 1 daughter. So those are youngest. So they never witnessed any violence. It was all the time when we were shooting something. It was camera on right side, and different day even, or 1 hour later on their side, because they are my children, so I was really very careful with it. Of course they witnessed a little bit, but nothing really serious. For instance, when they were packing and Małgorzata decided to leave and she was packing, so a little bit there, but it's only a little shouting, so they never witnessed anything. Why I decided to work with my children, it's because I'm very happy with their acting, but the only way, in my opinion, is with children, doesn't matter if my children, other children, it's not to write dialogues for them, because they will deliver, but it will be all the time not great. for real actors, it's difficult to deliver dialogue in realistic way. So there was I never wrote any dialogue for them. I simply explain what the scene is about, and let them act. So whatever they say, it's improvised. But especially Timon, not the smallest one, not the biggest one, the one in the middle, he's really talented, and he was really easily, he improvised with David, with Małgorzata, so this is one thing. Second, sometimes it was really long shooting, so a lot of footage to get something good. Of course, there is this little bit terrible scene while Ivo is falling into the mud, but this is accident, this is coincidence. Of course, nobody pushed him. The only little problem and guilt I have that he was not picked immediately. It was like this terrible 2 seconds he was in the mud. But from the other hand, you might believe or not, but this is in front of my house in Warsaw, in Mokotów, which is quite posh area, but my house is not posh, as you see. And very often it was real. They were playing in the mud like that, and I called my DP, and he lives next door, and I said, Adam, bring the camera, and we film it. So very often my children, they play like that, and they fall into mud, and there is nobody around. So they just help themselves as in the movie. But it's difficult, it's to work with children, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts to have it real, that it looks real.
Is there anybody else who would like to ask Łukasz a question? Don't be shy, I will help you. If you need to shout, I will help you to shout.
No, maybe you can translate, you know.
And I can translate also,
translate, because
100%.
I will not hear well enough.
There's a person there.
I was just wondering, you said that a lot of the themes that are in the movie, it resonates a lot with people in Poland, but I think, as it was touched on before, Ireland has a lot of these problems as well. So have you noticed that when talking to Irish people about the movie, if they have the same reaction as the Polish people?
I think I heard. This is my first time in Ireland, and you are the first Irish people I see in my life. So, so those are the questions. Yes.
I think it does.
Yeah, I think.
But I love Ireland. It's great. It's really great.
But I think, in fairness, we've already kind of heard a little bit of that echo that it is a universal story, unfortunately, and as Łukasz also mentioned, that it could be universal within Poland, but it is very sadly universal across all countries. Is there anybody else? Thank you so much for your questions. Is there anybody else?
Why did you pick happy end? Dlaczego szczęśliwe zakończenie?
I was a little bit joking that it's happy end because it's, as I said, we don't know. Maybe tomorrow he will get drunk, or he drinks so much that he dies, or we don't know. But you know, for me, this is a love story. If the ending it's not good, then there is no love. You know, it's for me. Of course, David is probably the main character, but for me, even more important is his wife. That she has so much love and forgiveness that she's able to take him back. And so for me, this story, if it would happen bad or very bad, or she would leave this guy, it would be a different story. I really prefer to hope that it will end good.
Anybody else? I always want to make sure that if you've got any burning questions, that everyone is satisfied. I guess I would love to, and if you come up with a question, just jump up and down and wave at us. But one of my final questions would be, Łukasz, do you believe in redemption? Do you believe that there is a possibility for a character like Alois?
What is redemption?
Odkupienie.
Oh, it's a difficult question.
I started with a difficult
too
one.
philosophical. You know, I believe that it's good to forgive. It's much harder to forgive. It's much harder to stay with this family. It will be very easy for Anna to, on the beginning of the movie, just to leave this terrible guy and to go with 3 boys somewhere. But this is simple in this moment. But then later, what to do? She looks like she has no job. Looks like she still loves this guy, and I hope from there are those little scenes from their childhood. So I hope it was clear that they met many years ago, and this is children's love. So they know each other for years, and I'm sure when they were young, there was a lot of beautiful things there. So yeah, I believe that it's better to try to forgive. I believe, yes. It's very difficult.
While we're waiting for your son Timon to become an actor and come to Dublin with his movie, will we see you here back with your next movie? What is your next project, Łukasz? Because I think it sounds quite interesting.
Okay, no, my next project is already done, and it's edited. We did it in Ukraine, and it's during war, so it's very also not comedy. So it's almost edited. But I spoke to Kevin. I told him, so maybe referring to that I'm planning some 7 stories in different countries. Also not comedy, and maybe one could be in Dublin, maybe, I don't know, but this is just the idea.
Okay, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that Dublin will make an appearance, even though it might not be a comedy. So
I have a problem with comedy.
There's plenty of comedic and funny stories in Dublin too, so maybe we'll sway you. But Łukasz, if there are no other questions, I just wanted to thank you, Łukasz, for being here, for bringing the movie to us.
Thank you for coming.
And thank you all for your questions. And if you're staying over for Ultima Thule, I'll see you later on for the Q&A with Klaudiusz and with Jakub Giersza. So thank you so much, guys. Good evening. Goodbye.
Thank you.